We're good? We're live? We're live. Ladies and gentlemen, the truths of a stock operator. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. I'm going to share with you the truth of a stock operator. How many of you out there have read Reminiscences of a Stock Operator? I'm going to show you the truth of a modern day stock operator. It's kind of funny using the word modern day because anytime anyone uses the word modern day, it's applying to the time in which they are speaking, and most of that information usually becomes irrelevant in the future. I am praying more than anything that what I explain and show you today is irrelevant in the future because it's something that really needed to change a long time ago. By watching this show, you are agreeing to hold me, Mark Melnick, and T3 Live harmless and not responsible for anything. And if you disagree to any of that, leave this video immediately. And by continuing to watch, you're automatically agreeing to those terms. Thank you very much. So, I want to talk to you about being the truths of being a stock operator. And I see all these rooms popping up, and I'm not name dropping, but you see all these like famous rooms popping up and they're advertised on Yahoo and websites that you go to, and they have like huge marketing budget. And it was funny that back in the time, T3 was actually a pioneer of this. Actually, the word virtual trading floor, believe it or not, I believe is a registered trademark of T3. Believe it or not, virtual trading floor is not a blanket term. Virtual trading floor literally refers to the VTF in which you are on right now. And nobody at the time really knew how far the business would grow. We always knew it was important, especially when trading went from exchange to electronic. And for some of you old school traders out there, and there's a purpose of where I'm getting to this, this is going to help your trading and bring you to the next level. But I'm going to have to explain it to you first because that is how my words will have the deepest impact upon you. And if you're like one of the trolls, we probably already have like 25 thumbs down on this video within 3 seconds in because again, I forgot to feed them as I was going over the bridge. Usually I throw a sandwich off into the water, but I couldn't do it today. I had a lot of work and plans. I'm going to share with you the truths of a stock operator and how this is going to change the way you think about trading forever. From as somebody who is a complete math nerd, who aced his math SATs, I've always enjoyed simple mathematics. I've always enjoyed the simple, Mark, what's 36 times 739? Mark, what's 6% of 232? Those types of mathematical problems, I usually have a very easy time coming up with a very quick decision. So I was always attracted to math. Now, when T3 actually started this whole VTF, and I was on at the later end of '07, '08 into '09, '10, '11, 11, and I went down my own path. It was just interesting to see how the virtual trading world has evolved, how being part of an exchange, being part of a crowd, even if you're not physically on the exchange, was an inherent thing that was attractive to traders. It was an inherent lure because now you could be on Wall Street or with Wall Street traders at the comfort of your own home and with the right internet connection anywhere on the planet. And the reason why I'm telling you this is just how it evolved and how the mentality evolved. When I first became a broadcaster, it was my goal to try to help traders because I was profitable, share with them what I was doing. And I would do that. And I didn't actually know my percentage, my retention rate. It's nothing I even paid attention to. But, the entire community just blew up just blew up. I remember when the VTF got its first 400 members, 13 months later, after I was part of T3's VTF, and I just saw it explode. And it's funny because when I was trying to do it, my goal was to help other traders make money. But when I actually realized is those traders were watching me for entertainment purposes because most of them could not duplicate the trades in which I was doing. I was hyper scalping hundreds of thousands of shares of Apple every day. And I would do that for just like every day, just come and trade Apple, come and trade Apple, come and trade Apple. And people were they liked it. Some people liked it, some people hated it. I used to use a lot of profanity. This is back '07. Please keep in mind, this is Mark Melnick 12 years ago as a trading broadcaster. I had 8 years experience as a active intraday trader at that point. Even even 7 years back in late '07, almost eight. Get the picture. So at that point, I realized that people were watching me for entertainment, and it felt sort of wrong. It felt sort of wrong because I came in with a goal to help grow a trading community into the next level, and people enjoyed listening to me throughout the day talk and curse at Apple and make tons of money on Apple, and that's what they ended up paying for. And I had to take a step back, and I went through, a very interesting course of life through, marriage, not marriage, marriage, went on a different, trading floor, got divorced, went on a different trading floor, and then, came back to T3 to do the Newsbeat live room, which even had a different name when I first came back. And what I was focused on growing in between that transitional step was the ability to help as many people as possible. I know people in our industry, they love, and I'm going to show you how my intentions, what they are, how I try to execute upon them, and why I even do these videos. Then I'm going to talk about some of the other things. And it's going to give you a perspective on everything from all the education you take, all the gurus you watch, etc. And at that point, I was saying to myself, I have to keep the highest retention rate possible. I have to keep the highest retention rate possible because most traders fail. And if I get emotionally attached to the job, it's going to end up destroying me. That is what somebody very famous who you know who they are told me. I don't want to name drop. I'm not there to put them on the spot. But they basically told they were also running a room larger than what I ran at the time. This was back in 2014. And he basically told me, running these trading rooms, he's like, almost every single trader fails out there. He's like, I'm lucky if 100 traders come in the room, if one or two of them are successful, he tells me. He's like, the point is ultimately to, you know, upsell as many products as you actually physically can to somebody, and hopefully the products are good, and there will be traders who do find help in them, even though the majority of them are going to fail. And I had something inherently, I always felt there is an inherent flaw with that, because while it is true that not every one of you will succeed and not every one of you will fail, um, there should be at least a basis that shows a higher probability of success. You need to create a dramatic edge. You need to create a dramatic edge. So I was always on this journey to think of how I can help other traders. And again, at that point, before I even came back, making millions of dollars just doing this job, it's not something that I needed to do because I needed a salary. It's something I wanted to do because I truly believed that every trader, if they were willing to just go on a journey that included them, that was based around them, and if you could help take those people on that journey, you would have the highest chance of success. And it really just turned into marketing. I did a video, Newsbeat Psychology number one. I'll put a link in the description. Definitely take a look at that video. It basically describes the three lies that you love to believe, and it goes through the three lies that you love to believe. But as a broadcaster, the industry, as a generalization, everywhere, and I dare anybody who's running a room to come and tell me otherwise. A successful room. Anybody out there who's running a success, and I mean a really successful room, come out there and tell me this right now. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I dare you to tell me I'm wrong. Look at me or email me or write me and just say, Mark, I disagree with what you're saying. It's all about marketing and numbers. From a marketing perspective, businesses are designed to make money. So, what you ultimately do in these things is you ultimately try to grow and get your message out to as many people as possible, knowing that you're not even going to sell every single person that actually sees your message. And you try to do a lure message, in which, again, I explained the Newsbeat Psychology one, where it's either a P&L or pictures in a luxurious situation or some life-changing event because you learned 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 simple strategies that they're offering, or find out my favorite things to do, and that will actually sell more. It will actually grow the room more. But the problem with those rooms, and maybe the solution and something that they admit, the problem with it is they have no real retention rate. I mean, go to those rooms out there and they'll be lucky if 4% of the people who signed up a year ago are still being part of that room today. And I always felt there is an inherent flaw, because if I'm not bringing you an edge, why would I waste all my time doing this, especially if I don't, especially if I could spend my time and make income in other measures. So I was trying to figure out on this journey, you know, if you combine a powerful marketing system, as I said, but actually help the majority of the people on the other side come out with a number that destroys and decimates the industry average for success, which is about 1.2 people out of 100. 1.2%, 98%, 98.8% of people are going to fail, according to one brokerage's statistics. We have to get that number better. You work too hard. So the truth of the stock operator is the following. You never mattered. You never mattered to any of us. Doesn't matter who you are. Don't care. All you are is a lettered name within the system. All you are is a lettered name attached to either a credit card or some form of payment system. And that is ultimately who you always were. That's who you always were. And I'm going to go to you and I'm going to dump a blanket strategy on your face and swear by it, show my P&L by it, show how I'm successful with it, and show you how it's the next best thing. Again, I could take a picture in front of my fancy cars, my fancy house, a fancy boat. I could take pictures in front of all these things. And what is that going to do for you besides encourage you and try to make you not second guess what I'm doing? That's the whole point of the picture, so you don't question it. I mean, look, the dude is obviously living the dream life, or the gal is living the dream life. No way that you could really sit there and question it. You never really mattered. And another way to what they've done to increase the retention rate is flood strategies. And what these flood strategies do is it raises the retention rate to like a solid 5%. And they'll dump 10 names on you, 20 names on you that that take a trade in these 10, 20 names. And then they'll leave it up to you to decide to try to pick one or two or three that do well. But there will always be one or two or three that do well out of 20, out of 10. And then they'll be like, why weren't you trading that one? Oh, I should have been trading that one. And you'll always have people who are losing a lot and always have people who are making a lot. But the people who are making a lot are generally about 5% of the people, just using simple mathematics. Mathematically, I find it hilarious when people are touting strategies, but they're batting about 50%. Talk to any of these gurus who are not going to BS you and lie to you. Ask them, what are you normally batting? What are you normally batting? Are you batting about 50? What are you batting? They'll tell you a number about 50%. Some will tell you a little less. Some will tell you some will tell you a little more. It's rounded off to about 50% for most gurus out there. But here's the thing. As somebody who is very mathematically aware of his surroundings, I could be quirky. I admit I am. I might be quirky as an individual. I think Nadav once called me quirky back in 2009. He called me quirky, and he said that a lot of people like that about me because some people could relate to that quirkiness in me. I was like, quirky. That's a very interesting word to use. But he's 100% right. Like what I am doing is phenomenally atypical. Many people could just come and show you a chart pattern, call it a chart pattern, tell you they like it, but if they're batting 50%, let me ask you this question and disagree with me. If they're batting 50%, what is going to stop them? What is going to stop you from taking a coin, flipping it, watching it land, and saying, I'm either buying this pattern that they're showing me that they love or shorting this pattern that they show me that they love? What is the difference? What is the difference? What is the difference if you're batting 50%? Oh, here's a pattern I like. You're going long, I'll short it. What is really oh, but one moves up more than the other? Bullshit. Bull. Lies. All lies. Lies, 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 lies. You are not batting 2 for 1, and you're not batting 50%, hitting 2 on your winners and 1 on your losers. You are not averaging that. I'm sure it's happened before. I'm sure if you've risked one and made 50 to 100, I know I do it several times a year, but like you are not doing that on average. Just cut the BS. You're not. And even if you are, you're going to still destroy people because you're putting them into blanket systems that were not designed for them. You don't matter, ladies and gentlemen. You never did. That is the truth of being a stockroom operator. Now, for some weird reason, my carometer is at all-time highs. I've always cared, but I sucked back when I was for entertainment value in the beginning. Back when I was using flood strategies, I would give 10 names a day and people fell in love with me, swore by me, called me the greatest thing ever. But my retention rate was, my room was slow. I'd be lucky if my room was growing by 10, 15 people on average every year, even if 100 people signed up. Do you know that? Back in the day? So where is the real edge that people are showing you in these charts batting 50%? Because I almost wanted to do an experiment. I wanted to take every single I wanted I wanted my son to join, maybe someone else. I wanted somebody to go in a room. I wanted it to be my son because he's 4 years old. And every time he sees a pattern, I want him to flip a coin and just say heads or tails. And if he says tails, I'll short it. Heads, I'll go long. And I guarantee you my results will be similar to every single other person in the room trading that strategy. On average, some people more, some people down less. I could be up this much, there could be up whatever. We're not even talking sizing here, right? But maybe, ladies and gentlemen, that was too tough for you to hear. Maybe why does Mark care? I mean, I'm not supposed to care about you. Why? Well, well, just with a dirty, crumpled piece of paper with traders' names all over them that I call out, that I have thousands and thousands and thousands of phone numbers inside my cell phone. And I call traders and I have a backlog and I talk to these traders. You know why? I'll tell you why I do it. Because I want them to succeed. And I humbly believe speaking to me on the phone will help them succeed or give them the best chance possible. Yes, I get that I understand that 100% of no place, no strategies are winners or failures. I understand that everything comes with a disclaimer, paragraphs worth of disclaimers saying that, prior results aren't indicative of future performance. Okay. Well, how do I make sure that my results are indicative of future movements? How do I know that I'm going to come in tomorrow and make money? I could say that with confidence every day, and I'm going to be right well over 85% of the time. All I have to do is go in every day and say, I'll be up money today, 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 and I will bat over 85% for the year. That's all I have to do. Oh, it's so easy. What is Mark doing? What is his strategy? You think if I showed you all the strategies I'm doing, that's going to help you win? If you sat there and you did every strategy that I do? Are you kidding me? What planet are you from? Seriously, what planet are you from? I mean that endearingly. The way I make you matter is by explaining to you that you need to first figure out what you do well. Because I guarantee you, whether you're profitable or not, you likely do not know what you do best or well. You think you do. Oh, yeah, if I just keep doing these strategies, but then do a little this, a little this, a little this. Show me what you're best at. Can you tell me what you're best at? How many of you in the room could tell me right now in the Newsbeat room what you're best at? I'm pretty sure most of you, not most of you maybe, because I didn't do the course yet, but in 2 weeks, I'm doing the course this Sunday, but in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, you will absolutely know what you do best because I have created the first training program ever that makes you, the number one part of the equation. I have created the first trading course ever. It does not exist out there. That makes the focus, the focal point of the entire course, figuring you out and making you the best trader that you can be, knowing which strategies you do best. And that is how I'm trying to change it. In terms of our success here at T3, with the amazing people behind the scenes that makes all of this work, I couldn't do it without them. You think I'm delusional? You know how nice it is to have people taking care of tech support and customer service and the editor and just the marketing, everything just combined together that makes these wheels flow. So I am blessed. I am blessed to have that around me. And I recognize the work that people do. And I promise you, they're some of the best in the industry that I've ever seen. And I will tell you this as somebody who is so blessed, privileged, gifted to have this platform which I could reach so many people out there, so many people I could reach out to and potentially help. That this is my hunger. This you could just hear it. It's the passion. It's what drives me. So I want to be that stock operator that actually gives a you know what. I want to give you the best chance possible of success. And the way I'm going to do that is the realization of self discovery of yourself and literally give you steps of how to self discover yourself. Answers, not blanket statements. Figuring out you as an individual, because until you do that, until you look in the mirror and you actually see what you are as a human being, as a trader, as a whatever you do, wherever you are in life, until you come into that factual realization and literally try some of these things and do it the psychologically, um, military psychology. That's what it is. Military psychology. How many of you would love to have the psychological mindset of someone in the military without having to go through the hardships of, jumping out of planes or walking around with weapons. I mean, I would. I mean, are you saying that there's no benefits to that? There's tremendous benefits. Don't look, the pros and cons to everything. We have a lot of people, a lot of pilots, a lot of military in our room, dozens and dozens and dozens of those military people in our room, and we appreciate you guys and we love you for everything you do. But I'll be honest, I could not do your job. I look at you with positive envy. Like, wow, how do you do that? Like, I wish I could do what you do. I can't. I can't. But you know what? I want the benefits. I want the mental toughness that these soldiers have. I think that is important, which is why the course that you're taking, and it should be the most popular course here at T3, is going to actually help you discover you. And I can't highlight how important that is. I know it's called Trade the Open. Yes, I am going to teach you how to trade the open. And yes, there's a lot of psychological fortifying things about trading early on as opposed to later in the day. So, yes, it is absolutely trade the open, but how are you going to be successful at it? I think it's just going to be me showing you chart patterns I like, algorithmic setups that statistically have a very high win rate. Yeah, there'll be that too, but it's going to be that combined with you. Strategies that don't cause psychological toxicity, have a very high hit rate. Winners can be equal to or greater than your losers. And when I say high hit rate, I'm talking 70% plus on everything. Some of them are in the 80s, followed by who you are as a trader and what you can actually grasp out of that. Because I will tell, ooh, there goes my chair. I will tell you right now, I will tell you right now that these strategies, you're not going to be able to do all of them. I mean, I don't want to promise because with the sheer number of sides, there will be people who could do all of them effectively. But that's not the point. It's irrelevant. The whole point of it is to actually, I'm going to show you with what I do, from all the things I do, I'm going to let you nitpick the ones in which you do effectively. And even if you do none of my strategies, I will show you strategies that you are currently doing. Even if you're losing some, losing making, I will show to you and prove to you what you are good at. Once I'm able to actually do this, you will no longer be afraid. If you fully implement what we do in this course, you will no longer be afraid. Fear of missing out will be gone. Afraid of pulling the trigger, afraid of holding positions too long, afraid of fear of missing out, sizing too heavy. The majority of you, and I will bet on it, will not have those blowout days. How many of you traders have like this 1, 2, 3 memorable days that crippled your account or like chopped off like a limb of your account? How many people have had a trade like that in the past? John, Amy, Pat, Rich, Alex, Carol, Lee, Diego. Who doesn't, says Colton. I don't. Not anymore. I used to. I've had. Not anymore. It doesn't happen anymore. And it won't. It won't happen anymore. I'm not talking about a measured risk even on an overnight trade. Unless you were too heavy in an overnight trade. But I guess that could be applied too, John, as you're saying. But I'm just literally referring to these crippling events which will psychologically destroy you and ensure you that you will never become successful. By doing this, by self-discovery and knowing what you're good at, you're going to have the confidence to go in these trades. So what I'm actually doing is, if you want to think from a scientific standpoint, and again, all of it is scientifically proven with all the studies we show regarding this, all I'm doing is attaching scientific studies, psychological studies, and applying it to trading and just building the bridge. All I am is the bridge builder. All I did was build the bridge between those two things. And with the marvels of all these things today, it is possible to make you actually gain confidence in a situation. The reason why you don't have confidence in a situation is because you have no idea what you're good at. You have no idea what you should be doing. And all you are doing is following and listening to others without having that clue. Why should you be confident in any of these trades? You weren't supposed to. Like, why should you be confident? Like, are you a psychopath? Are you going to randomly be? Maybe you are. I mean, look, to be a trader, right? Maybe there are some psychopaths out there, and maybe you will be able to, um, twist your mind to have full conviction behind an idea that I don't really understand the numbers or the stats behind. Anyone remember riding a bike for the first time? Anyone remember? I actually remember. It was like, I think like 9. I mean, riding a bike without training wheels. Training wheels. And removing the training wheels for the first time. And you go on the bike, and let me remind you if you forgot, because it was a long time ago. You were scared. You were on the bike. You're trying to balance. You knew it was up to you, and you knew you were going to probably fall. I know they show you in the movies, like the Forrest Gump, and he's running and his leg braces fall off, and then he's just running and like without falling nonstop. Yeah, I know it happens in the movie, or the person with the bicycle or commercial, and they're like, go, and then the kid's a little wobbly, but then he keeps going and pedaling, and I got it for the first time. Wow, no, that doesn't happen. You fall. That's okay. You were supposed to. You had the safety gear on and whatnot. Now, if you were to go on a bicycle, how many would be scared? How many of you would be scared right now on a bicycle who knows how to ride a bicycle obviously now? None of you. You would just hop right on and ride. You want to know something funny? So I've been bungee jumping. When you first go bungee jumping, for those, how many of you guys have gone bungee jumping off a bridge into rocks and waters? And you just miss it. You couldn't stick your tongue out and hit it. It's not that close, but you just miss it. So when you jump off, it takes a lot of whatever. And if you do it for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, and you're at the same bungee jump place, it never scares you anymore. It just stops scaring you. You just jump. It's not even as fun anymore because the fun about bungee jumping is being scared. The fun about bungee jumping is actually being scared. And once you're confident that you keep doing it, you're no longer scared. You just do it. So for everybody who's suffering fear in trading, you know, as a, you know, the truth of a stock operator, I'm supposed to tell you, build confidence, know your strategies are going to work, take every setup that befits your trading plan, write your trading plan, what strategies you're going to do, and execute upon them. And if you see them, just go for them. And that's what I'm supposed to tell you. But in actuality, that never worked, and you're still going to be scared. What I'm trying to do is actually show you how to ride a bicycle and show you the paths in which you could take, let you do it for 1, 2, 3, 10, 20, 30 times, figure out what you do well, and then execute upon it. Wouldn't that make more sense than me just vomiting out a bunch of setups that I like or trading strategies that I do, which I admittedly have? Wouldn't that be more valuable to you as a trader? And there are going to be people out there, again, who swear by it, swear by nothing else but a chart pattern. And I was one of those traders for a while. And while I think individual people can do it, like I could probably just trade off the chart. I mean, I have algo levels. I mean, we called the dead bottom of the Qs today. I mean, come on. I could do it off a chart. I get it. I could do it off a chart. But 98% of you can't. As much as you'd like to believe you can, as much as you'd like to believe if you follow that guru's stupid setups or that guru's stupid setups or my stupid setups, that you're going to just go ahead and make money. And I say stupid endearingly, like because they're just stupid in terms of the fact that You are stupid to the setup because you do not know if you do it well or not. So it might as well be a stupid setup. And admittedly, some people are going to just take my steps like this is the most incredible thing ever. I'm consistently profitable. I talked to dozens of you in the last week who just tell me, Mark, I have nothing to say. And those are my favorite phone calls because it lets me get to somebody who needs help. They're like, Mark, I'm making money. I'm more calm. I never knew I could trade like this. You're a very unique thing out there. I've never seen anything like this. I've never been happier. I'm nicer to my loved ones. My children say I'm happier. My wife, my husband, my whatever. And then those conversations usually last between 4 and 10 minutes. Then I'll speak to somebody having a problem, and that conversation could last 20 minutes to an hour and a half. So what I'm actually going to do through this course is actually teach you what you will be doing well in the market. Because if you want to keep taking these traders who have a 50% hit rate, you don't really need to learn their strategies. You might as well honestly just flip a coin. Just flip a coin, and you will likely perform just as well as the majority of people who would take that strategy. It's a mathematical truth. It's a mathematical fact. I wish it were wrong. It is so true. And the problem with it, I have finally narrowed down after 12 years as a stock operator. I consider myself the modern day stock operator because so let me teach you who you are. I promise it'll be the most unique course that you've ever taken, unless you take courses out there that put you into the equation, which I have never seen. Courses are blanket strategies, and when you throw a bunch of blankets on people, you tend to smother them. This is about self-discovery, who you are as a trader, what you do well. And once you know what you do well, and then I could give you strategies in which you could do well through the course, then you're going to have the confidence, then you're going to be able to push through. And that, in this stock operator's humble opinion, is the number one best way that you have a chance of being successful in the greatest job in the world. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for making the Newsbeat Live Room T3's number one largest and fastest growing trading room. Happy trading, make money. And I will see you guys tomorrow on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Hold on. You guys want levels? Oh my God. Look, he's given the levels. Now the levels include the S&P 500. Again, these are the levels for tomorrow, July 8th. Have fun printing them. Have a wonderful evening.